Day 23. Do it to life before life do it to you. Do it to 2021. It's your boy Obz, a whole year of breast cancer awareness, personal growth. This is what I'm doing, right? Talking about today is Thursday. The four agreements. On Thursday, we go over the four agreements. I hope yesterday you did go ahead and get the book, listen to some of the book. I like to listen to the four agreements before Thursday. I mean, if you're keeping up that way, but also too when I'm getting these audio books, like I said, I'm gonna put the resources down there. But when I'm on the audio books, after I listen to them a couple of times, the next thing I like to do is speed it up, cause we know these brains put these brains to work. These brains I know can do much more than what I'm doing right now. So I speed it up to 1.5 times. So yeah, the book may say 4, 6 hours or something like that. On the course of going back and forth to work, you could probably knock each one of these books out in a week. And then I go back through it again. You see what I'm saying? I go back through it again. So put it on 1.5 times and you'll be able to knock the book out in maybe 2 or 3 days. That's just me. I've been listening to it for a little while. Like I said, now I'm just speaking these things out, showing other people. And as I'm showing other people what I'm doing, talking it out and putting it out there, I notice it's a change in myself, because that's the only thing I'm looking for, right? I'm just cataloging this thing. I'm just keeping a record of this thing so that if somebody wanted to, hey, well, maybe he was lucky. Like this time next year, and I'm where I'm supposed to be on my goals. I want people to say, especially my family, especially my family, because they're gonna be with me, right? And they're gonna see, since they're so close to the growth, they may not notice the growth. You see what I'm saying? Because it says in one of the Bible verses that it's amongst friends that a prophet without honor. I'm not a prophet or anything, but I have a good idea. I know that proof is in the pudding. I know people say seeing is believing, but seeing is seeing, right? Believing is believing a thing that's not seen yet. That's why faith comes in, right? And I got faith in this, right? Got faith in you too, right? So here go where we are. The four agreements. The fourth agreement. If you don't know, there's four of them. That's why they call it the four agreements, right? The fourth agreement is gonna be do your best. It's tough. Do your best in everything you do. It's a Bible verse out there. Do it unto God, not unto men. So there was a story about Joseph, and he had told his brothers he was gonna rule over them, but everywhere he went, he always did his best. And people recognized that even when he was, a slave in somebody's house, he became the head slave. And not so that the guy didn't even treat him like that, because they knew he was honest. They knew that he always did his best work. He was over all his house. The guy said, "You over everything. The only thing you can't touch is my wife. Everything else, I don't care what you do." Now that's strong, right? That's strong. And this is a guy, he bought him as a slave because his brothers had tried to kill him. Then then the wife said, "Hey, look, I like this Joseph man. Boom, boom, boom." And she tried to seduce him. He wouldn't bend. He said, "Look, this will upset God. I'm looking at a higher power. I ain't looking at these small trinkets and distractions right here." So she lied on him. He ended up going to jail. Guess what? In a jail cell. You may be in a jail cell right now, but guess what? You can always do your best. And he did his best in jail. In prison, he did his best and became, guess what, head of the prison. Wow, this is a story. This is a serious story, man. You ought to take this to heart no matter where you at. This story of Joseph all end up, well, long story short, he always did his best. He helped out friends. He said, "Hey, look, man, just remember when you get out." When they got out, they forgot about him. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, they forgot about him. I don't know how many. It was a long time. But anyway, one day, the king was like, "Hey, look, I got these dreams. Nobody can interpret them." And then one of the cupbearers or something for the, "Hey, remember I was in prison. He told me I was gonna get out. This guy, I still remember. He may still be in the jail. Hey, go down there and get him out the prison." Got him out the prison, brought him up. He could have sat up there and made a deal with Pharaoh. He said, "Man, I tell you this, but you got to get me out of prison." But he didn't. He said, "Say, you know what, man? I'm just gonna go ahead and do my best, man. Hey, you need my help? I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you." He wasn't looking for compensation from that guy all throughout his whole life. He was looking for, he said his compensation came from God. And if you can, that's a good place to be, right? Where you could just do things, because you want to do them. I know my pastor told me one time, man, and it's true. He said, look, man, you know, you can serve God or you can serve, mammon. He called it mammon. Some people put it in as money. But he said that you need to be out of debt. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that down the road. Me and my wife, we're close to being out there. Got about 60,000 left before we out of debt. Cars paid off, house paid off, kids are out of school, all the tuition and stuff paid off. We're gonna be about $60,000 next year. We're gonna be totally out. That's one of my goals for next year. So that's on my 411 and my GPS, right? Okay, so we're gonna go over that too on Tuesday. That's the one thing. But anyway, he said you should be out of debt. He said because debt is like a spirit. It's a spirit of debt, and it tells you what you can and can't do. I never looked at it like that, right? So we implore our kids, don't get in debt. Pay everything off. Still build your credit up. Still have excellent credit. Still have, you know, you got a line of credit. They can buy whatever they want to buy. But as far as the debt being in a monthly cycle like that, until you get your house or something like that, don't be in debt because it tells you what you can and can't do. Because right now, you want to take a month off from work, can you do it? Because your debt gonna tell you, man, you can't do that. So that's why Grant Cardone says it's your duty, it's your goal for us to be successful. So we're gonna press through. We're going to inch through on these three books, the Bible, the one thing, and the four agreements. I have faith that me doing this for 365 days is going to put me over to the level that I want to be in next year for 2021. I'm going to do it to 2021. I'm going to do it to every area of my life, the stuff that we've heard years and years. I'm just going to do it to every area of my life. I'm going to test the theory. Is it easy? It's not easy. Yesterday I was at a little writer's block. But anyway, back to Joseph, right? Oh, let me go and finish it out. So anyway, he read the dream. Pharaoh said, oh man, this is fantastic. And then Joseph said it like this. He said, you should find somebody that can put this into place. This is what this guy needs to do. See, he wasn't looking for himself, see, because he in prison, You don't know the Pharaoh got all these people around, the experts and pros and all that stuff like that. And he said you should find somebody that can do this, this, this. He laid the outline out. Like I laid the outline out of what I'm using. It's going to be online. You can download that outline. Same thing we going through with every month, every week. Lay the outline out, and then say, find a guy that can do this outline right here. Pharaoh said, you know what? You thought of it. I mean, shoot, you know what you're talking about. I tell you what, boom, you in. You number two. Here go the ring. Now you number two. The number two most powerful person in the world. Number two. Straight like for just doing his best. He was doing it under God, right? He was able to, but guess what? He was able to save all his folks. All his folks was saved just by him doing his best. Staying focused. That's why we're going to do it to our lives, not just for ourselves. It's so all those in our circle of influence will raise up and to go to the next level. Now you kind of see you kind of see this dream that I got, right? But it's doable. It's doable. It's doable. But always do your best. Now, in the four agreements, it did say that sometimes your best ain't as good on some days than other days. Because if you're sick or you're sleepy or you're tired, your best ain't going to always. Only way you know you did your best is in here. Hey, if that's all the energy you had and you know you used all of it, that's your best. Because you don't want to judge. You got to love yourself and don't judge yourself. You see what I'm saying? Love yourself, don't judge yourself. And you just put that right there, and this is what this four agreements about. It's about loving yourself and not judging yourself. Because we judge ourselves. He named a judge, he named a victim. It's in the four agreements. Hope you guys listen to it. Go ahead and get it. But like I say, it's Thursday. I want you to do it your best to every area of your life. And it's going to get tough when it's come down to helping others, and people taking advantage of you and people You know, seem like you're not getting your fair share, like it's not fair. You know, we getting to the point where I want to grow in my mind to I'm not thinking about fair. I'm thinking about right. I'm thinking about best. In the competition in our job, they pit us against each other. It's a competition, right? It's more like a scarcity type deal, and it kind of ingrains that in you. Sometimes, you got to look at it, but I find out when I do my best, regardless, that I always be on the top. You see what I'm saying? But when I start worrying about, that I might not make it to the top, oh, I'm number two, oh, I'm number three, oh man, he's so close to beat me. That distraction takes me off and I start to sink. Now we know that, right? One minute you're walking on water, next minute you're sinking because we took our eyes off we got distracted. And that's what this whole 3 book thing I'm doing, this whole process, M7, Matthew 7, the whole process is just to get more focused, build my courage up, to to cut some things off, to amputate some things, because it takes courage. That's what it's saying in one thing. It takes courage to amputate some things off. We've been thought that we need to add some things, when in actuality, we need to cut some things. That's why when you go inside my mind, inside my garage, we're gonna start shooting something in there probably later on next year. We're gonna go inside there and we're gonna see the accumulation of stuff. See, right now, doing it to life, all the stuff I accumulate, I'm pulling it out and I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I'm doing it. And we're going to see how it turns out. This your boy ObZ. This is day 32. Do it to life for life. Do it to you. Do it to 2021. A whole year of breast cancer awareness, personal growth. Peace out.